Hello everyone, it's me, Sanjay Vasu, back again for another video. This time I'm doing it on Cambridge's Lower Secondary Checkpoint for Mathematics Paper 1, April 2023. You are not allowed to use a calculator. Let's start. Question 1. A regular polygon has exactly 8 lines of symmetry. Tick to show if these facts about the polygon are true, false, or if you cannot tell. The polygon has 16 sides. The answer is false, because any regular polygon with an n number of sides, in this case 8, has an equal number of lines of symmetry. So it'll also have 8 lines of symmetry. So a polygon with 8 lines of symmetry will have 8 sides. And that's because it's a regular polygon. So the answer is false for the first part, since it says 16 sides. Now for a second one, the polygon has rotational symmetry order 8. The answer is actually true, because if it has 8 sides, it has to be an octagon, right? And if you draw an octagon and think about the number of rotational symmetry, it's actually 8, because we rotate it 8 times, then only will come back to the starting position. 8 times 45 degrees. That's the answer. Let's go to question 2. Carlos rolls a fair 6-sided dice 60 times. Calculate how many times Carlos should expect to roll a 3. So a 3 on a fair 6-sided dice has a probability of 1 by 6. And 60 times means the number of times he'll roll a 3 is 60 into 1 by 6, which is equal to 10 times. It's not just for 3, for any number from 1 to 6, because these are numbers on the dice, the answer will be 10 times. Let's go to question 3. Write the letter for each calculation in the correct column of the table. One has been done for you. A, 7 into 6, that's not equal to 7 to the power 6, since multiplication and exponent are different functions. So that's already given. Now the B, 7 power 5 into 7. That will be equal to 7 power 5 into 7 to the power 1. And now we add the powers because it's the exponent rule, 7 to the power of 6. So it's equal, and answer is B over there. Now for C, 7 power 6 divided by 7 power 0. 7 power 0 is equal to 1. 7 power 6 divided by 1 is going to remain the same, 7 to the power 6. So C will also be here. You can also do this using exponent rules, because division 7 to the power of 6 minus 0, which is equal to 7 to the power of 6. Still the same. Now for D, 7 to the power 2 into 7 to the power 3. The answer is it's not equal to 7 to the power 6. Because of the exponent rule, when you multiply, you add the powers. So 7 to the power of 2 plus 3, which is 7 to the power of 5, not 6. That's the answer. Question 4. Expand and simplify. C plus 4 into C plus 10. We can use the FOIL method, which means front, C into C, which is C squared, plus the outside, which is C into 10, 10C, plus the inside, which is 4 into C, which is 4C, and the last, plus 4 into 10, 40. That would be equal to, now we can simplify, C squared plus 14C plus 40. That's the answer. Let's go to question 5. Draw a line to match each calculation to its answer. One has been done for you. 0.5 divided by 10 to the power of 2. It's already done for us. The answer is actually 0.005. 5 into 10 to the power of minus 1. Answer is 5 into 0.1, which is equal to 0.5, or half. Over here, 0.5. 0.05 into 10 to the power of 4. That will be equal to 0.05 into 10,000. And that will be 500 if you did it correctly. Now for the third one, which is 5 divided by 10 to the power minus 3, that will be equal to 5 into 10 to the power of 3. It's equivalent, because 10 to the power minus 3 is 1 by 10 to the power of 3. And the divide and 1 will cancel out, so 5 into 10 to the power of 3, 5 into 1000, which is, you should already know what option it is, part D. Let's go to question 6. Work out the value of 10 minus 2x whole to the power of 4 when x is equal to 4. That will be equal to 10 minus 2 into 4, because x is equal to 4, and the full thing is raised to the power of 4. Now that will be equal to 10 minus 8 raised to the power of 4. That will be 2 to the power of 4, which is 16. Let's go to question 7. A pyramid has a square base with side length 10 centimeters and 4 congruent triangle faces with each a height of 12 centimeters. Calculate the surface area of the pyramid. So that'll be the area of the square plus 4 times the area of the triangle. Now, which triangle am I talking about? It's the triangle face over here. So the area of the square will be side squared plus 4 into the area of triangle, which is half BH. Side squared, that'll be 10 squared, and the area of the triangle, half BH, will be using the height 12 and the base. Since it's a square, this is also 10 centimeters here, so the base is also 10. And now you can substitute the values. 10 squared plus 4 into half into 10 into 12. That will be equal to 340 centimeters squared if we did it correctly. That's the answer. Question 8. The arrow points to a number. Draw a ring around the number the arrow points to. We actually don't have access to a calculator in this question and actually in the whole paper, and that's why we can't just compute these using a calculator and check which one is very close to this point. But actually, we can just check which two integers these square roots are in between. And the one which is in between 5 and 6, and it's closest to the middle number, which is actually 5.5 since it's the middle. So the one which is closest to that and between 5 and 6, that's the one which we need to select. So first, root 11. This is in between 3 and 4. Why and how? Because 3 is actually the square root of 9 and 4 is actually the square root of 16. Since 11 is in between 9 and 16, so the square root of 11 will also be in between the square root of these two numbers. That'll be in between 3 and 4. So this is now in between 5 and 6, so you can rule it out. Put a cross there. Next is root 22. We can write this root 22 as in between root 16 and root 25. We're trying to find square roots of perfect squares, which are just below and just above the number which we are using, root 22. So this will be simply 4 over there and 5 here. But then we need something in between 5 and 6. So this can also be ruled out. Next is the square root of 30. That will be equal to in between which two numbers? 30 is in between 25 and 36. So root 30 will be in between root 25 and root 36. And that's in between 5 and 6. So well, this is in between 5 and 6. But we can't decide correct yet because we need to consider the last option, which is root 35. Root 35 is also in between 5 and 6 since it is greater than the root 25 and it is also less than the root 36. 35 is in between the two numbers, right? So that can also be there, but which one's correct? Well, we can find out by using the information we're given here, because it's very close to the middle of the number. The number which we're square rooting has to be very close to the middle of 25 and 36, because these two are also the equivalents when you square root of 5 and 6. So 30 is more to the middle than 35. 35 is really close to 36, but 30 is a bit near the middle of the two numbers, 25 and 36. That's why root 30 is the correct answer. Let's go to question 9. Ahmed draws this graph to show how the number of visitors to his town is increased. Big increase in the number of visitors to the town. Number of visitors is on the y-axis. We don't know what's on the x-axis. Give one reason why the graph could be misleading. There are actually many reasons. First of all, it's that this graph is drawn using a thick pencil or a thick writing instrument. So it's not easy to see which value it corresponds to or this line corresponds to. So that could be the misleading factor, or it could also be the fact that there's nothing given on the x-axis. And also it could be the fact that big increase in the number of visitors to the town is already given here in the title of the graph, so they might not actually be looking at the graph itself and might not actually take into account what trend the graph is showing. So I'll be writing the point about x-axis is not filled. I'll say x-axis is not filled. So we don't know the period of time in which the increase has occurred. That's the answer. Let's go to question 10. 1 by n is equivalent to a recurring decimal. N is a whole number. Safia says n must be greater than 5. Write a number to complete the sentence. Safia is not correct because the value of n could be 3. Why? Because 1 by 3 is equal to 0.33333. It continues, which actually is written like this with a dot on top of the 3. And 3 is a whole number, right? So we can say that n can be 3 and Safia is wrong. And that is our answer. We have to write 3 in the blank. Question 11, A. Write 70,000 in standard form. That will be equal to 7 into 10,000. We can write it like that, right? 70,000, 7 to 10,000. Now, the 10,000 can be written as the power of 10, 10 to the power of 4. So, that is our answer, 7 into 10 to the power of 4. Let's go to part B. Write 7.5 into 10 to the power of minus 3 as an ordinary number. Remember that there's a minus, so that means that'll be equal to 7.5 into 1 by 10 to the power of 3, which is 7.5 into 1 by 1000, which actually is 0.0075 if we did correctly. That's the answer. Let's go to question 12. Here's Eva's method for drawing the perpendicular bisector of line AB. She draws an arc radius of 5 centimeters, center A, and she draws arc radius 6 centimeters, center B. She draws a line to connect the point where her arcs intersect. Explain why Eva's method is not correct. The main reason is simply because the radii of the arcs are not the same. This arc radius is 5, but this is 6. Why is that significant? Because even though, yes, you might probably get a 90-degree angle, you will not get this length and this length to be equal. This length, in fact, will be longer than this one here. If you call this point as O, that means BO is greater in length than AO. So this is not a bisector. It might be perpendicular, but it's not bisecting the line. That's why it's not correct. So the radii of the arcs are not same length. That's the answer. Question 13. Here's a formula. Y equals square root of W minus 2. Draw a ring around the correct rearrangement of the formula. First, we have to take this full square root and bring it to the other side. And if we inverse it, that'll be a square. So bringing it to the other side, we have inversed it. So y squared is equal to W minus 2. Bring the minus 2 to the other side, it'll become a plus 2. So W is equal to y squared plus 2. This is the correct one, and that's why it is the fourth option. Let's go to question 14. Question 14. A. Write down the value of 7 by 3 into 5 into 3 by 7. The 7 by 3 and 3 by 7 will cancel out, so it's remained 5. Why do they cancel out? Because 7 into 3 by 3 into 7, that's the equivalent, right? 21 by 21, which is equal to 1. Anything into 1 is equal to the same number. So in this case, 5 into 1 is equal to 5. That's the answer. B. Calculate 9 by 10 divided by 2 by 5. Give your answer as a fraction in simplest form. So 2 by 5 will be equal to, in an improper fraction, 12 by 5. That will be equal to 9 by 10 into 5 by 12 if we invert the fraction. And that will be equal to, cancel, we get 1 and 2. Cancel, we get 3 and 4 there. So 3 by 2 into 4, which is 8. That's the answer. Let's go to question 15. The internal storages of 3 games consoles are 500,000 MB, 32 GB, and 1 TB. Write these values in order of size, starting with the smallest. Let's convert everything to, for example, GB. So MB, we have to divide by 1000 to get GB. That will be 500 gigabytes. Now 32 GB is already in that unit. Now 1 TB, which is a terabyte, we have to multiply by 1000, so that will be 1000 gigabytes. Now the smallest is 32 GB, which we can write here. Next is 500,000 MB, which is 500 GB, but we need to write in the original form, so 500,000 MB. Next is 1 terabyte, that will be 1000 gigabytes, and that's the largest. We have to write it as 1 terabyte though. That's the answer. Question 16. The diagram shows a triangle T drawn on a grid here. A. Triangle T is rotated by 180 degrees about center 0, 0. The new triangle is then rotated 180 degrees about center 0, minus 3 to give triangle U. Draw the position of triangle U on the grid. First, let's do the first transformation or the first rotation. If we rotate by 180 degrees, there's a small trick. If, let's say this point, with respect to the center of rotation, it is 2 y units away and 1 x unit away. So we go like this to the center. We just do that one more time, like the same distance, in the opposite direction to get the new point. So it'll actually be over here. Now you can do the same thing for these 2 points. This one will go all the way there, minus 2, minus 4. And this one will go like this, minus 4, minus 1. Now we can connect the dots. But this is not triangle U, right? We need to rotate it 180 degrees about this center as well to give triangle U. We can use the same trick. This is 1, 1, so you do that one more time, it goes there. Next, this is 2, 1, so do that one more time, like that, over here. And this is 4, 2, so you do that one more time to get down here. And this triangle over here is the one which we are looking for. Actually, this is the triangle U. Let's just label that triangle U. This triangle does not have to be drawn, but then it's better if you draw it because that could be awarded the second mark. B. Draw a ring around the type of transformation that maps triangle T on the triangle U. We can see it's the same shape and the same size, right? But then it just moves to a different position. So that would be translation. That's the answer. Question 17. The table shows information about the masses of 70 boxes. A. Draw a ring around the interval that contains the median. So the median of 1 and 70. If we add these two, because 1 is the first box, 70 is the last box, and divide by 2, we get 35.5. Now 35.5, where is the 35 and 36? Because 35.5 can't be a box number. So where are the 35th and 36th boxes? So there's 10th one, 17th will be here, 30th, and then from the 31st to the 50th box will be in the 4th group. And that's where the median lies. So this is the answer. B. Draw a frequency polygon to show the information in the table. First, let's find the midpoint of these intervals. So I'll just put that as MP. Now, I'll just extend the table like that. So over here, it's 15, 17, 19, 21, and 23, right? A frequency polygon to show the information means when we take the mass, you have to use the midpoint, and then we have to plot the frequency for each midpoint. So first is 15, that will be frequency 10. Put there. Next is 17 with frequency 7, in the middle of 8 and 6. Next is 19 with frequency 13, in the middle of 12 and 14. Next is 21 with frequency 20, and 23 with also frequency 20. Now we can just connect the dots. That's actually what you're supposed to do for a frequency polygon, and that's the answer. Let's go to question 18. A. The nth term of a sequence is n squared plus 5. Find the 7th term of the sequence. That means n is equal to 7. So 7 squared plus 5, which is equal to 49 plus 5, which is equal to 54. That's the answer. B. Here are the first 5 terms of a different sequence. Find an expression for the nth term of the sequence. We can see that we add 3, add 5, add 7, add 9, and so on. The second difference is add 2, add 2, add 2. Because the second difference, the degree of this will be n squared. Now we subtract this from n squared, like the sequence over here. So the sequence is 0, 3, 8, 15, 24, right? So we subtract this from n squared. Let's just write n squared here, and this is the sequence here. N squared will be 1, 4, 9, 16, and 25, right? So you have to do minus 1 when you subtract it. So that means the thing which you have to do to get from n squared to the sequence is minusing 1. So the answer will be equal to n squared minus 1. Let's go to question 19. Find the coordinates of 2 points on the line y equals 5 minus 3x, which have a negative x coordinate and a y coordinate which is a multiple of 4. So let's just plug in some negative x values. Let's start with negative 1. If x equals negative 1, since that's the first negative integer, that means y will be equal to 5 minus 3 into minus 1. That will be equal to 5 plus 3, which is 8. And well, this is a multiple of 4, right? Because 4 into 2 is 8, right? So that means we hit the answer spot on with our first guess. So x equals minus 1 and y equals 8. That's 1 point. Now for a second point, which we need to find, since it's a multiple of 4 for y, we can subtract 4 from x. Let's just say, so we probably will get another y coordinate as a multiple of 4. So if x is equal to minus 5, that means y is equal to 5 minus 3 into minus 5. That would be equal to 20. And yes, this is also a multiple of 4, right? Since 4 into 5 is equal to 20, so that can be our second point. Minus 5, comma 20. And there's actually more answers. For example, x equals minus 9, x equals minus 13. And for x equals minus 9, y will be equal to 32. And for x equals minus 13, y will be equal to 44, and so on. There are actually infinite points which have these properties, but you only have to write any 2 of them. Let's go to question 20. Chen records the length in millimeters of 10 shells. The lengths are given here. He draws the stem and leaf diagram to show the data. Chen's stem and leaf diagram contains some errors. Draw a correct stem and leaf diagram to show Chen's data. The first thing is this is actually supposed to be in ascending order like that, but then it's not. And by this, I mean stem over here. So it's not in ascending order. That's the first thing. Second is there's no key for the stem and leaf diagram. And yeah, that's the 2 errors. Let's do it in proper order. So 3 comes first, then 4, then 5, then 6. We write the values: 31, 34, 37, 38, and then 40, 46, 47, 52, 55, and 68. Now we need to write a key, right? So I just put a key symbol there. And now let's just say 31, 3/1 represents 31 millimeters. That's the answer. Question 21. The diagram shows the rectangle ABCD. EF is parallel to AB. Let's just draw that. It's easier to actually illustrate it rather than just reading it, so I usually do that. And EG is parallel to HF. That's already given here, as you can see. Calculate the size of the angle marked X. First of all, since AB is parallel to EF, that means this angle is 90 degrees, right? Angle EFC is equal to 90 degrees. Next, that means angle EFH is equal to 90 minus 20, which is equal to 70 degrees. And then, now we found this angle here, 70. And we can find this angle because these two are parallel sides. This is transversal. So that means these two are alternate angles. This is 46 degrees. So angle GHF is equal to angle EGH, which is equal to 46 degrees. Now we know these two, so x is equal to 180 minus 70 minus 46, which is equal to 64 degrees. That's the answer. Let's go to question 22. Lily heats the water in a swimming pool. The graph shows the temperature in degrees Celsius of the water for the first 50 minutes after 9 a.m. The temperature continues to increase at this constant rate. Find the temperature of the water at 11 a.m. So the rate of increase is actually, if you see at the start, it's 16.1. After 20 minutes, it's 16.4. So the rate of increase equals 0.3 degrees, because 16.4 minus 16.1 per 20 minutes, right? And if you multiply both sides by 3, 0.9 degrees per 60 minutes, which is per hour. So at 11 a.m., which is 2 hours later, that means it will be 0.9 into 2, which is equal to 1.8 degrees Celsius increase, which is equal to 1.8 plus 16.1, which is 17.9 degrees Celsius. That's the answer. By the way, I've used 20 minutes here, but why? That's because I've taken the temperature 16.4 degrees, and the x-coordinate of that value is 20 minutes. And I got 0.3 by subtracting 16.4 minus 16.1. And also, why are we adding 16.1 here? Because we need to find the temperature at 11 a.m. So we found the increase in the temperature, but we need the initial temperature to find the final one, right? 16.1 is the initial temperature, so that's why we add 16.1 with 1.8 to get 17.9 degrees Celsius, and that's our answer. Let's go to question 23. Oliver and Angelique each have a jar that contains only green and red counters. Angelique has the same number of red counters as Oliver. Find the total number of counters in Angelique's jar. So in this case, both jars have 7 parts, but then the ratio split is different. So over here, it's 3:4 for greens to red. So the number of red in Oliver's jar is equal to 42 into 4, which is the red parts, by the total number of parts, which is 3 plus 4. 42 into 4 by 7, which is equal to 24 red counters. And that will be equal to 2 parts in Angelique's jar, right? Because they have the same number of red counters. So 2 parts out of 7. So that will be equal to 2 by 7 into the total in Angelique's jar, let's call it A. So A is equal to 24 into 7 by 2, which is equal to 84, if we did correct, 84 counters. That's the answer. Let's go to question 24. The area of the trapezium is 24.5 centimeters squared. A, B, and H are integers greater than 1. A is less than B. Find the set of possible values for A, B, and H. So over here, half into A plus B into H is equal to the area of a trapezium. In this case, that'll be 24.5 centimeters squared. So that means H into A plus B is equal to 24.5 divided by half, which is 49 centimeters squared. So 49 is equal to 7 into 7. So this H and A plus B, each of them can be 7. So H can be 7, and A plus B can also be 7. So H has to be 7 actually, because they're all integers greater than 1. We cannot have 49 into 1, right? Or 1 into 49, because they have to be greater than 1. Not possible. So H is equal to 7, and A plus B is equal to 7, which means A and B are any 2 integers which add up to 7. I'll write 2 and 5. There's also only one more answer, which is 3 and 4, because A is also less than B. You cannot write 1 and 6 because 1 is not allowed. It's all greater than 1. That's the answer. Question 25. Solve 12 by 5 minus 2x is equal to minus 3. That means 5 minus 2x equals 12 by minus 3, which is equal to minus 4. That means 2x is equal to 9 and x is equal to 4.5. That's our answer. Question 26. A bag contains a large number of colored balls. Each one is red or blue or green or yellow. A ball is picked at random from the bag. The table shows some of the probabilities. So the color and probability are given here. Calculate the probability that the ball picked is either blue or green. So first of all, we need to find the value of x over here. We know the total probability is always equal to 1. So that means 1 is equal to 0.3 plus 0.1 plus x plus 1.5x, which means 2.5x plus 0.4 is equal to 1. 2.5x is equal to 1 minus 0.4, which is 0.6. And x is equal to 0.6 by 2.5, which is equal to 0.24. Right? So for blue, it's 0.24. And just for your information, yellow will be 1.5x, which actually is 0.36. But it's actually not needed in this question, since we only need to find the probability that the ball picked is blue or green. Yellow is not involved. So we don't need to find yellow, but just for your information, I'm writing the answer for yellow as well. So now, the probability of blue or green will be the probability of blue plus probability of green. So 0.24 plus 0.1, which is 0.34. And that will be our final answer. And that is our final answer also for this video, since we have come to the end of our paper. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, share this video with your friends and family, and comment on how you think this video was. With that, it's me, Sanjay Vasu, signing out. Thank you. Bye.